Hey guys, bye Bartsy again. I'm back with a little update today. I've got a little bit of everything to share with you today, hopefully. I keep trying to film this on YouTube like directly because we have a new computer and it has Windows 10 and I have no idea how to make a video on it. So, trying this out and it keeps like timing out on me or something. I don't know. Frustrated. But anyway, I'm going to start. I'm just going to go. I have a finish to share today, and it is Wacky Witches by Cloud's Factory. I finally finished it. Just look at it. Is it lovely? I love this piece. Love it so much. Again, it's by Cloud's Factory. She put it out last year as a mystery stitch along, of which I did not keep up with. But I worked on it here and there, and it's finished now, so I'm very excited about it. I stitched it on a 32 count, real fast linen, called Stormy Night. Stormy Night, pretty sure. It's great. It's just so fun. Each little block was released separately. Of course, now if you bought it, I'm sure you get the whole thing all together, but anyway, there's some close-ups here. There's block 1. Number 2 is her exploding potion. She's getting chased by a ghost. And the middle blocks kind of create a nice scene, which is nice. I particularly like the little zombies coming out of the graveyard there. Do you see the the house was tricky. You know, I mentioned before it bogged me down a little bit, but once I got that knocked out, the rest of it came together, of course, real quickly. But there's a lot going on in here. A lot of colors. You know, they're just here and there, and that was a little tedious. But once I got it done, all the rest of it came together. There she is in a graveyard. A little dance party there. That's hilarious. That's so funny. She's a chef. Like a little cake with her wand. It's nice. It was just a really, really fun piece to stitch. I would really recommend it for anyone. It was really fun. The border itself, you know, it wasn't super tedious, to be honest. It's kind of intricate, but it wasn't awful. I've had trickier ones. This one was okay. Came together pretty good. Little, you know, the little details. It's nice. It was fun. It came together nicely, so I'm very excited about that. Just glad to have it done. Not quite sure what I'll do to finish it yet, but I'll think of something. For now, I'm going to go my pile of finishes, which is getting increasingly larger. I need to do something about that. What are you going to do? The Blimey Cat Stitches had asked about the threads that were used in this, and so I'm just going to do a quick run through of the few specialty fibers that were in it, just in case you're interested. It was mostly DMC, but it did have some weeks dye works in it, and I don't have a whole lot left of them, so I'm going to show you what I got left. But this one was called Cyclamen, okay, and it's really pretty actually. It was a nice sort of lavender to a bright purpley. It's called Cyclamen, and that was used. You see that in the circle details around the border here, and then sort of bits in here or there like her hair. Little bits here and there for that one. That's a nice color. You see, I don't have a whole lot left, so I used almost the whole skein of that one. And then there was Moss, again from Weeks Dye Works. I didn't use a ton of this one. I still got quite a lot left, but it's a green. Do that. And it's got a slight variegated to it. It's sort of an olivey green to a good light here. I'm sorry. To a darker green. That was nice too. You'll see that primarily, obviously, in this grass underneath the house, and even in the house. See this green that's like coming up there and stuff. So that was nice. I mean, you could, of course, not do the week strike works and, you know, just use whatever. Use a DNC, but now this one's a hot mess because it's got a big tangle in it, and I got tired of trying to untangle it. But it's called Blue Heron, and it's a blue. This just goes from a light to a medium kind of blue. Again, all these are weeks that works. And then there was pumpkin, which is, it's, you know, what it says. It's just a nice orange. Wasn't terribly variegated on that one though. But you know, obviously, you know, used in like this darker orange pumpkin there. So just a slight, just a slight kind of variegated to that. So wherever there's, see the orange, the light in the house, or no, not the light, but the door. Backwards. So here's that, and then there's one more. And I don't have a lot left of this one either, and it's called Mulberry. It's a dark purple that goes to like an even darker purple. It's very dark purple. This was used primarily in the inner border. So these little bits here. These bits and the horizontal line and here. So I used quite a bit of that one. And I also did substitute. I did not write that color down, but the clouds in this middle section, the storm cloud here, and the clouds there in the graveyard scene. I did substitute a DMC variegated 4150. I don't know. It was like this. It's just light grays. Let me find it. There it is. Yeah, kind of subtle. I just thought it looked a little eerier, more eerier. I don't know. I also made one other substitution, and I used Moe's Fail Mouse, which is just really just a nice gray, subtle gray. And I substitute in this mouse. And I substitute that in the tree that's there in the graveyard. And then I went ahead and used it for the little mouse too, just so that the color would, you know, be somewhere else in the piece. So that's that. And that's the specialty threads that were used, and then a couple. Everything else I did is charted, except that, like I said, for the clouds in that tree. So, you know, pretty much else charted as charted. So there's a lot of black. I think I used 3 skeins. Went through 3 skeins, maybe like 2.5, something like that, of 310. So, but again, it's stitched up really nicely. Very, 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 very happy with that. So, okay, what's next? Hopefully this video keeps going. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna upload what's there, and I'm not gonna do it again. I can't do this anymore. But I did find some Terrence Nolan things on Stash Unload recently. Shroom Hilda. I love his mushroom things. Mother's Love. I also have the Bride and the Shroom. I kind of want to stitch those someday. I don't know. See all that? Look at that. It's fun. This stuff's really fun. So I'm excited to get those. Just today I got some Soda Stitch mail. Very excited. I have ordered from them before. But I don't know. I wanted more, so I did more. Put some light in here. This was my little freebie. Love Blossoms. Take that off, I guess. That's super cute. I would definitely extra that. It's so dang cute. But for most of these, I have this grand idea to stitch a bunch of like dessert themed things for my kitchen. But I've wanted to do this for a while, and I've got a couple of things that I've embroidered that I just need to kind of frame up and hang up. But I also wanted some other pieces to put here and there around the kitchen. So I found a few things on that soda stitch that I want to do. Ice Cream Village, because hello, Ice Cream Village. I can't even just look at the cute there. I can't even. What? I can't get over that. I love it. And then Ice Cream Ladies. What? Are you kidding me? How awesome is these? Are these? Let's talk proper. You should probably hear my son in the background. Sorry. Adore. Look at Saucy. Look at Saucy green tea. Ooh la la. Look, I can't even tell you how much I love that. And then this was a bit smaller one, but I thought it would look cute too to go with everything. It just says ice cream. Cute. And it's so Korean to have green tea as an ice cream flavor. If you've ever been to Korea, but you can get like green tea milkshakes at, places and things like that. So that's a lot of fun. And then the last one up for the dessert themed, I think all these will look really cute stitched up together. Ice cream cats. Because what's better than ice cream and cats? Not much in my book. I don't know. Not much gets better than that, I don't think. Ice cream cats. And because I picked up a few more that aren't ice cream or dessert themed, but Kitten Village, which I can't even get over how cute this is. Are you kidding me? I don't even know. Look at the little car up here. Are you kidding me? What is this? The rainbow. Umbrella. There's a rainbow there too. Man, I love that. That's so cute. And then they had a Four Seasons cat. People that like their seasonal things. There you go. Look at the Ho 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 Santa cat. I love this. I can't get over it. It's so cute. And this one, he's playing in the little falling leaves. I love it. And then one more. Christmas Village. Because it's a really cute little Christmas scene. Little elves, Santa, reindeers, stockings hung, snowman, ornaments. That's super cute. I like that a lot. And then as a soda stitch, like they always do, they give you a couple of smaller, options for the patterns based off of the larger ones. Because the larger ones are large. I mean, that's like, it's like a full page. See what I'm saying? Yeah. They're pretty big. I've got a soda stitch scheduled for next year to finally start one for my sister. Oh, pause. My son's game stopped. Thank you. Okay. It's terrible, okay? I'm awful. I sit him in front of my phone with a little game so I can do this, okay? Whatever. Pardon me, too. Okay. Now, so let's see. Let me go on to bird. Sorry, I'm reaching down here in my little whip bag here. I got stuck on something. Okay. So I've got, well, I finished up Wacky Witches, so of course I needed to start something else. Sorry, my screen went blank. I thought, no, I can't do all this again. Not again. So I picked up one of my whips, and I picked up Woodland Sampler by Floss Tube. And I got May finished. A little gnome. Cute. Stitch them up in a couple of weeks. Here's a Wally needle minder from Gina's. Love that. So this stitches up really quickly. I would love to get this done by the end of the year. I'm going to set it as a goal. I think I can do it. I'm almost halfway there, so because I'll be starting on June. So I think that's a goal. I mean, it's a reachable, attainable goal for me. I think to get that one finished. And that's just been out there forever. It needs to get done. It needs to get done. I do not want to roll that over to next year at all. I love it, but I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be over. You know what I'm saying? You know, did you ever get that way? Like, I love this thing, but I'm kind of ready to move on. That kind of thing. So anyway, but you know, because nothing says like focusing on one piece than starting new things. Whatever. But whatever. But the Harry Potter Stitch Along started in Cross Stitch It's Fun yesterday, I think. So this was one I had been looking forward to most of the year. So I said, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing that one because I didn't really necessarily need to have a new start. But no one ever needs a new start, right? You just want it so bad. So that's what I did. And I've just barely started it, but this is a pattern I found on SDX, and it's going to be in black and white because that's how I printed out. What I printed out for free at work. Okay. But it's the Dumbledore quote. It says, happiness can be found when it found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. It's got the wand here with the light coming. Well, Pumpkin, you gotta stop turning it off. Here, I want Sesame Street. There you go. Like I said, I'm sorry. Barely a start, but it's a start. It'll stitch up quickly, actually. Just started with the words. I'm stitching this on that gunmetal fabric that I got from Rainbow. I think I got it from Rainbow Stitchery on clearance. It's from Weeks Dye Works. It's a 30 count. And I'm gonna be honest, I've not stitched on Weeks before. It's a little, I don't know if it's the fabric. I don't know. It's a little like the weave is a little loosey-goosey, which is not making it the best for lettering. But I'm just gonna do it. And I tried, you know, where this is just like a back stitching lettering there, the can be part. You know, I tried it in one strand and I tried it, and it didn't look good. So I'm doing it in two, and it doesn't look the best. I'm just doing it. There's my Dumbledore needle minder from Minding My Minders. Anyway, that's a lovely quote. It's always been one of my favorites. So that'll be nice. And you can see that I got that from an Etsy shop called That Crazy Georgia. Just a few bucks, instant down, you know, instant download. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So I did start that, so I got another new start. Ay. It's crazy. But I've also been thinking about my plans for next year and my goal. I can get my list together for the Cross Stitch Crazy Challenge next year. Yeah, my list is really long. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I'm probably just going to start them all. I don't know. I don't know if you see that bag that's over right there. Yeah, that's full of things I've pulled out already. Yeah. gonna be fine. I love having a bunch of new things. I love having a bunch of starts around so that I can pull out whatever I want to work on it when I want to work on it. That's the point. That's why it works for me. It's fun. I've got a lot of finishes because of it. It works for me and I love it. So there. And I haven't started this one yet. I will start it this evening once. I'm sorry. Leaning over all the time. I'm sorry, I don't have much space up here on my little desk, but because today is the premiere for the newest Doctor Who season, Folks and Stitch Mania, have a Whovians Unite for today to start not to start necessarily, but to work on a Doctor Who themed piece. This is a piece that I did start at the beginning of the year as part of my challenge. But then I had a brilliant idea to do something else with it, and so I haven't worked on it since. So I said, so this is essentially a new start, but it's like a restart, because I ended up having to buy a bigger piece of fabric because of this brainstorm I had in my brain that went on. So let me pull this back up. I'm all ready to go. I got everything ready to go for today. But I've talked about Wee Little Stitches before. Love, love, love Wee Little Stitches. So I've had these for, not too long, I guess, because it does have the newest Doctor in it. And again, these are in black and white. I'm sorry. But that's all the Doctors there. And the TARDIS. And it does have all of the Doctors. It's got the new one here. Got the new guy. The FNG. Alright. And I got this planned for this. It's from Picture This Plus, and it's called Baroque, and I got the crystal, so it's got sparkle. When I saw this, I thought it was, I'm sorry, it's already in my queue snap. Like I said, I'm ready to go for tonight. So, I thought it looked like, a nebula or, some sort of timey-wimey thing, right? I got my TARDIS needle minder. I think it's a little crooked. Let's see. From Gina. There he is. So it's on that fabric. But my grand idea, because I was just going to do the Doctors, right? But I had a grand idea because I had all the other patterns too that they have. The Wee Little Stitches has out. So he's like, why don't I just do them all on one big thing? So that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, but I had to get a bigger piece of fabric too, basically, to accommodate the length, of having them all on there. So they've got, these are another set that you can buy. Now this has the companions that started with number 9. So it's got Rose, Martha, Donna, the Pawns, and then River Song. And then they put out another set, more recently with, Strat and Jenny and what's her name, and Clara. I'm drawing a total blank. The lizard lady. I draw a total blank on her name right now, but whatever. I'm going to stitch those both together, on the same line, much like the Doctors, and leave it out the TARDIS. That's on them. So it'll be the Doctors, right? And then it'll be the companions underneath that. And then it'll be this one, which is the Villains, Monsters, Aliens. And this one's great too. It's got everybody, Daleks and Cybermen and Silence and the Oods, the Angels, the Clockwork, like robot guys, and the Child, and the Moisturize Me. All these guys, the Master. It's got them all. It's got them all in there. It's awesome. It's a great pattern. Again, I'm sorry it's black and white, but apparently it's not for free at work. Hopefully one day I won't get caught, but today's my color ink. Because their particular patterns, they are in color, but they work just fine in black and white for me. They're fine for me. Anyway, like I said, Doctors, companions, enemies, And then I think below that, I'm going to do the TARDIS, like kind of like right. Or I thought about doing the TARDIS like off to the side, centered in between. I'm not sure quite yet how I'm going to do the TARDIS, but either way, it doesn't really matter quite yet. I can figure that out later, but I'm just going to start this one now. So I'm starting that today. But it's essentially a restart, like I said, but that's fine. But I've got it, you know, it's all kitted up. Got my little, got all my floss there. This is actually just for the doctor's pattern. That's the one I'd already, you know, previously had kitted up before. So, and I switched down to a 32 count too, so that it's going to be a bit smaller, but it'll be okay. This is a Lugana. Like I said, it's my picture of this class. It's called Baroque. And I got the crystal with some sparkles. Because it's a space pattern. Alright. Got sparkles in space. Okay, that goes over here. Okay. I think that's it. I actually did want to do a quick tag today. I'm trying to get caught back up with my tag. And I had printed out the Teresa tag. I have not done Teresa's tag yet. It's a quickie, so I'm going to just kind of tag it on to the end here. Do seasons affect your stitching? Me, not so much, honestly. Because I really only get to stitch in the evenings. I've said that before, I think. And so it doesn't really matter what time of year it is, because it's, you know, past 8 o'clock by the time I get going anyway. Do I stitch with a lap stand or floor stand or in hand? I don't use a stand. So in hand, I guess, is the answer to that question. Do you prefer stitching keep Q-snap frame or in hand? I'm a Q-snap girl. I've used Q-snap for years now. Love my Q-snaps. I will use just a little hoop too, though. You know, if I've got something small that won't fit in my Q-snaps, or I will stitch if it's something even really small. I'll stitch it in hand too, but mostly Q-snaps. That's my go-to. Then she's asking, do you have any kind of light, stitching light or additional lighting? I don't. Where I stitch is by my couch, so I can watch TV or Floss Tube, and so we have a floor lamp that has, you know, one of those extra little reader lights, and that's what I use. I pop that little extra light on, and it really helps. I find that, of course, I really need that extra light now. So that's kind of a pain in the tooth, but I do have an out light. I have it on right now. I used that mostly when I was painting, but I'm not painting anymore. But it's like one of those weird clip-on kind. I don't even know if but it would work. What? Go play. I'm almost finished. Do you use a magnifier? I do not yet. I fear I may need to, but then it says, do you stitch one-handed, two-handed, or both? I'm sorry. It keeps clicking on the off button. It keeps clicking off the thing. I stitch one-handed. Actually, it's just how I do it. Because I Q-snap one hand and I stitch in the other, and I reach around. That's how I do it. Do you prefer to stitch alone in the quiet, or do you stitch in the family area? I end up mostly stitching alone, because again, I stitch in the evening, and most people, you know, my sons are in the bed and usually asleep, and sometimes my husband is around though. We maybe are, you know, watching a show together or something. I'll stitch sometimes when we're watching a show or something together. But he works a lot of nights sometimes too, though, so sometimes I'm home by myself, so that's what I do, is I stitch by myself. A lot of times I'm stitching by myself. Okay. What's your preferred fabric and count? I do, if I have a preference, though I've said it before, I'll stitch on anything. I don't worry about it too much. But if I have a preference, I do prefer linen, and I do prefer 32 count or 28. I'll stitch on either. But again, I'll stitch on just about anything. I do not have any qualms about 14 count Ada. I will stitch on that in the heartbeat. I'm fine with anything. Have you ever lost your stitching bug? I have. How I get it back, I think I just kind of make myself stitch something. Sometimes it's starting something new. I think that helps a lot. Or finding a new pattern, so that's when maybe these days watching like Floss Tube would come into come into play, where you could um, watch a couple of videos and see like someone show a really awesome pattern, and it'll just like spark you. Sometimes you just it just takes a spark. Usually like a new pattern or a new start will get that back for you. And sometimes, yeah, I think you just have to sit down and make yourself stitch. Sometimes I'll just stitch something small. That way it gets done, it gets finished, and I'm like, okay, all right, back into it. So let's move on back to other stuff. The last question is, do you travel and stitch? And would you, or do you stitch on public transport, or do you pretty much just stitch at home? I do. When I don't ride any kind of public transport, so I don't really have the opportunity to do that, but I would. If I had a long commute, I certainly would. I do take my work, my stuff, if we're going somewhere, if we're going on a trip or something, I'll take something with me usually. And I've mentioned before, but I do take a piece to work with me, and I have a work stitching piece that I work on, and and I keep it there at work, so it's just there waiting for me whenever I get a chance to work on it. So, which reminds me, what, last video I showed that raccoon. Yeah, that's not gonna happen at work anyway. I started working on that thing, and had no less than like 11 billion quarter stitches. Way too involved for a work piece. So I had to bring that back home, and I'll finish it, but not at work. It's not happening. I only get like a half hour or so. I picked something else. I picked a little Country Cottage Needleworks pattern for my new work project. So, good grief. I couldn't believe the quarter stitches in that little tiny raccoon. I mean, the thing was that small, right? Good grief. Anyway, I think that's it. That was the end of her questions. That was Teresa Tag. Teresa, thanks so much for a fun tag. Teresa, you're the best. Anyway, you're so fun to watch. So that was a fun tag. Okay, I think that's it. Trying to see if I got anything down here on the floor. That's all. I hope this comes out. I don't know. We'll see. But that's it. So I'm gonna work away on my Doctor Who and try to get that Woodland Samper finished. Knock it off my list. Like, oh, well, I gotta get a couple more finishes by the end of the year. I don't want to drag over a whole bunch of whips for next year for my challenge pieces. And probably doing Stitch Mania again. Alright. So, anyway, I want to thank everyone so much for all of the kind, lovely comments, and for subscribing, and just for even watching. It's just, I love you guys. You guys are the best. It's just been really a lot of fun. And just to have, internet friends, we have like communities. Well, oh, they're my stitchy friends. That's what, I call people, So anyway, tangent. Sorry. But that's it. I've got a couple of videos, or at least one I know of, planned up to. But I probably won't get back to about October, but it's almost October anyway. Can you believe it? September's like already almost over, but anyway. Thanks again, everybody. I'm rambling now. We'll catch you on the flip side, and happy stitching. Bye!